while ago, then I remembered it was on children alone, and I know that many parents will not be able to click and watch because it was on children, and I know that it's for children. However, I know that many children actually use their parents' phone to join. So that is why we have to come back to start for now. We have to come back to restart again. So let's go. It's back to school set boot camp. Yes, it's the goal is to have you at the end of the term, the session, when announcement is being made. The best in math, your name will be mentioned. The best in English, your name will be mentioned. The best in physics, your name will be mentioned. Yes, that is the goal. That is the idea behind this class. So what I want you to do is to take your writing materials, your notepad and your pen, and get started. And not just to take notes down, you must also take action. So what you want to do now is to go to the comment section and type "I'll take action," because if you do not take action, what you are learning today, if you are not going to practice it, at the end of the day, you wasted my time, you have wasted your time, you have wasted my data, you have wasted your parents' data. So what you want to do is to make sure every single thing I'm teaching you today, you are taking notes of it and you are going to apply it. See, I always like to tell children your age that you can do anything you set your mind to. And when I say anything, I actually mean anything you set your mind to. So if you set your mind to say, okay, I want to do better in academics, I tell you, you can achieve it. If you set your mind to say, okay, I want to have A's, I also want to be called the best student in my class this academic, I tell you, you can actually achieve it. Once you set your mind to it, you can achieve it. And we are going to set, now when it comes to setting your mind to it, it doesn't mean you not have obstacles. Of course, you have obstacles on the way. But because you have set your mind to it, no matter the struggles you face, you are going to go ahead. So what we are learning today is every single thing you need to actually achieve your academic goals. Believing that you have set your mind to doing better. You have set your mind to achieving success in your academic goals. Yes, someone has joined me. Thank you. So in your comment section, write, in the comment section, type in, I will take action. I will take action. Anything I learned today, I am going to take action. So let's get started. My name is Eninia Orebo, and I work with young children like you. The goal is to empower them when it comes to sexuality education, when it comes to etiquette and manners, when it comes to leadership. The goal is to empower them to raise young children up to be very wholesome and healthy individuals who will grow into adults that don't have to struggle with life. That is the goal. So today's goal is to make sure that this academic term you don't struggle. This academic term you don't get the wooden spoon. This academic term you are going to so much excel that your confidence will increase, and at the end of the session entirely, when the best is being announced in class, you are going to be announced as the best in class too. Now I know that everything I'm teaching you is going to work because I myself have 3 children, and each time I sit down to put all those into practice with them, they come out, they do well. However, when we struggle, we go back and forth, we don't apply too much, then they struggle too. So if you apply yourself, if you put in the work, everything I'm going to teach you here, if you note them down and apply them to your studies, you too are going to be called out as the best students. Oh, the best graduating student. Oh, the most improved student. You too are going to be called out. Now, the first thing I want you to know is that to be one of the best in your class, let's say during the prize giving day, you are called the best in numeracy, the best in physics, the best in science and all of that, you are called. It starts from tomorrow. If your school resumes tomorrow, I tell you, it begins from the very day you get to school. Bear that in mind. Because at the end of the day, whatever they are going to grade you with, it's going to be cumulative from the test you have done, from your assignment, from every single thing. everything will be put together to use to judge you. So as soon as you get to school, you are going to get started taking your school seriously. You are not going to wait till it's exam time for you to start doing revision. You are not going to wait till, oh, you have a quiz or you have a test, whatever you call it, to start doing revision. No. So you need to definitely start from the very day you get to school. Which day are you resuming? Let me know when you are resuming in the comment section. Are you resuming tomorrow, Monday night, or you are resuming on the 16th? Because in this place I am, some people are resuming on the 9th, while some are resuming on the 16th. So let me know when are you resuming, on the 9th or on the 16th. Another thing you want to leave a like or a love. Always drop a comment. If you have any questions, do where to ask. I can see your comment. Someone has said good evening, man. Thank you. Someone has said 16th of September. Whoa, okay, that's this sometime. Okay, sorry, that was network. So let's go right into what we have today, because we have a lot. Remember, it's a boot camp, so I'll try as much as I can to congest everything in such a manner that you understand exactly, you take action, and you can learn everything that we actually want you to learn. So let's go. Now, the first thing I want you to do is, the very first thing you want to do is begin by taking the last result sheet you got, see your grades, then ask yourself if that was really the best you could have gotten. Could you have done better? Could you have gotten more? That is the very first thing you want to do. Write it down. Write it down. If you don't remember it, if you want me to repeat it, take your last results, look at it very well. What did you get? You got a 70 over 100. Was that the best you could have gotten? Could you have gotten better? Of course you could have gotten better. You got an 80 over 100. Could you have gotten better? Of course you could have gotten better. So you could have gotten better. Now here's the thing I say to children. If you are in a class and you are getting 100 over 100 all, it simply means that you may need to stretch yourself more. It simply means that that class really is not for you. There's a school for gift that puts away. So if you are in a particular class, you keep having 100 over 100, it simply means that you are more than that class. You want to tell your parents that the things they teach in this class, they are things that just come easy for me. So can I go to the higher class where I'll be stretched a bit? Yes, because it simply means that that class you are is too small for you. So please, if you're already getting 100 over 100 without putting enough effort, you know that you are not putting in enough effort, you just go to class, everything they are setting, they are quite easy. Not because you read like that, but because they are it's easy for you to understand and answer. Know that class, no matter your age, that class is too much. You may be a gifted child. So you want to tell your parents, you want to tell your class teacher that you may be a gifted child. So let them take you to the next class. You go to the next class, you realize that you are still getting 100 over 100, the same thing. Go to the next class. You are still getting 100 over 100. Then you know that you are definitely a gifted child, and you are underutilizing your gift. So now the first thing I want you to do, like I said, take your last results and look at it and ask yourself, could I have done better? Yes, you could have done better. Like I started by saying that any single thing you set your mind to, you can achieve. I'm not saying it because I want you to hear me or just take it. It is the truth. If you are going somewhere and you must pass, and you see that there's a blockage on the road and you must pass, what do? You don't have any choice. You can't go back. You must go forward. What do? You are going to find a way to pass. It simply means that your mind is set on passing. So no matter what, you are going to pass. The same thing applies to your education. If you want to have a 90, a 100, a 99 in your grade, it simply means that you are going to do whatever it takes. Your mind is set on it. If your mind is set on it, then you are going to achieve it. If your mind is set on it, you are going to achieve it. It is anything you set your mind to, you can achieve. So that's your third term result, and ask yourself, could I have gotten better? If you could have gotten better, then in that case, you can actually get better. Now, the next thing I want you to do is set your goal for the next term. It is important. Remember, the first thing I said is take your last results and look. Okay. The first thing I said you should do is this. Take your last term's results, look at it, your last session's result, look at it and say, okay, I got 70, I got 80, I got 90, I could have gotten better. Now, the second thing you should do is take your results and set your goals. Set your goals. If you had a 70% last term, you can set it for 90, 80, 90. You can actually get 90% if only you put your mind to it. You set your mind to it. Remember, setting your mind to it is doing anything and everything possible. So if you set your mind to it, you are going to get it. If you set your mind to it, you are going to get it. So set your goal. Set your goal at 70%. Set your goal at 80%. Set your goal at 90%. Set your goal. I want to get 90 over 100. I want to get 70 over 100. I want to get 80 over 100. That's the next thing you want to do. Now, the next thing you want to do after that is, if you want to move from 70 to 90, you want to reflect on the things you did last time. What were the things you did last time that helped you get to 70? What were the things you did that helped you get to 70? What were the things you did not do that you probably would have gotten to 90, but you stopped at 70 because you did not do those things? So you want to sit back and reflect on those things. Now, after your reflection, you want to sit back again and have a plan. Oh, you have a goal, you are going to have a plan. You cannot achieve your goals without plans at all. So you have a goal to get to 90. You've sat down, you've asked yourself, what did I do that I got 70 instead of 90? You know that, okay, I was always watching television, I was sleeping each time I go to read, I fall asleep and do all of that. Then you already know that these were the things that sabotaged you last year. So you are not repeating them this year. They are not going to sabotage you this year at all. So you know that. So you are now going to plan your academic term. We are coming. Just keep following me. Now you are going to plan your academic term. When your schools, we are going to plan your academic term. Now this is another thing I will ask you to write down. The first thing I asked you to write down was, take your last year's results. Look at them very well. The second one I asked you to write down is, set your goals for this session. Set your goals. I also want to be called as the best in math. Set your goals. Now the next thing I want you to do is reflect. How did I get 70 over 100 last session? How come I got 80 over 100 last session? So you want to ask yourself, what were the things I even did that got me 70 over 100? It simply means if I do them times 2, I may get double, right? Yes, I may get times 2 of what I got. So you want to apply them. Now the next thing you want to do is, you want to plan your academic term. You want to plan your academic term. Now here is what you do. In the Dream Chasers magazine, we always have a monthly planner where you are expected to plan your entire month. And one thing that happens when you plan your month is, it makes everything easy for you. You are not struggling. You are more organized. And when you are more organized, you have your goals, organize your goals. You know what to do. So you are not under pressure of any kind. So when your school sends their calendar, I know that most schools, they send you a calendar. The calendar tells you exactly what they want to do. You know the day you are doing your test. You know the day you are doing your exam. You know the day you are going on vacation. You know the day you are going on break. Maybe they have a Muslim break. They have the break coming now is in the October 1st, Nigeria Independence Day. You know the days for the different breaks. If you have a project in your school, okay, you are going to do project this time, you have the date for it, right? Every single thing, plan your entire term. If you have the Dream Chasers magazine, you want to go to the page where you have the planner. You can take that planner, use it to replicate for the entire term, 1 month. Plan your entire term. Every day, the day you have a particular item, your resumption is on the 16th, go to the 16th and write resumption. First test, go to the day you have your first test and write it there. Break, go to the day you have your break and write it there. You have a project, go to the day you have your project and write it there. When you finish planning your entire 3 months or the entire term together, take your planner and put it somewhere you can always see. It helps you to be super organized. Then you are not rushing for tests. If you look at the planner in the Dream Chasers month, you will see how to use it. You will realize that you are not rushing for anything. I remember I used a birthday. You are planning for your friend's birthday as an example. You know that your friend's birthday is next week, and it's the right. You are supposed to get your friend something. You say, okay, my friend's birthday is on the 30th of September, so I want to get my friend something worth 1,000 naira. So what do I do? That is, I need to say 100 naira 10 times, right? So you are going to say, okay, from on the 1st of September, I'll start saving 100 naira, 100 naira, 100 naira. When I save for the 10th of September, I am going to the market, I'll buy the thing I'll buy the wrapper, I'll wrap it, I'll keep it. So the day I'm going for my friend's birthday party, I just pick up the thing and I'm going there. So you are not pressured, you are not rushing. Do the same with your academic planner, do the same with your academic this session. Plan it, look at it. You have a test, okay, I have a test of so and so. So okay, you have to read here, study here, study here, study here. Or you have a project. It's not, oh, you have a project tomorrow, this night you are running helter-skelter. No, that is not it. That will put you under pressure. It will make you under-deliver. At the end of the day, you may deliver a tacky work, a work that is not so fine, and your grades will reduce. Now remember, it is how to back to school success bootcamp. So your grade will reduce. We don't want your grade to reduce because if your grade reduces in that your project you did horridly, it's going to affect your overall grade, right? If your grade reduces in that sense, someone says, okay, if your grade reduces, it's going to affect your overall grade. We don't want anything that will reduce your grade at all. So learn to plan ahead, plan down. Tell yourself, okay, I'm going to write I have a project on so and so day. You go and put it in your planner. As you put it in your planner, break the project down. The steps to achieving the project, have them broken down, and then you begin to follow the steps. Have them broken down in different days. The day you get the material for the project, the day you actually want to do the project, the day you want to submit the project, break them down and follow them. If maybe we'll do another class to talk about how you can actually plan, how you can plan your month. But I hope this helps you. Now that is the first thing, that's the fifth thing I've said you should do. And I do hope you are taking notes. Are you taking notes? Are you taking notes? Let me know if you are taking notes. Write in the comment section that you are taking notes. Drop a comment that you are taking notes so that I know that you are actually taking notes and you are going to carry out what I've been sharing. Okay, now let me talk about 3 things that will help you excel in your academic. 3 things that will help you excel in school. That is the major thing I want you to know. 3 things that will help you excel in school. Now, the first one is your attitude towards your studies. Your attitude towards your studies will help you excel in school. You are taking note, thank you. Your attitude towards your studies will help you excel in school. Another thing that will help you excel in school is the impression your teacher have of you. It is very important. Again, I said, day 1 of your resumption is when you start planning. Day 1 of your resumption is when you start planning to come out top in your class. From the very day 1 you get to school, begin to make deliberate plan to come out first in your class. Now I said your attitude, the impression, and the third one is your performance. The impression your teacher have of you matters a great deal, whether you like it or not, and I will come to that later. Now the good thing is that your attitude will rub off on your impression, the impression you are creating, yes, the impression you are creating, and your attitude will also rub off on your performance. If you have the right attitude, it will show in you. So your teachers will be impressed. They will easily see that you have the right attitude. If you have the right attitude, you're good. Your academics are going to be, your performance is going to increase because of your right attitude. Now, what is the right attitude? Can someone tell me what the right attitude means? If you are watching, you can leave it in the comment section what the right attitude means. Okay, so let me go on. The right attitude means trying your best, doing what it takes to do your best, not looking for excuses, rather finding solutions, not giving up, rather finding ways to it. That is the right attitude. When you have the right attitude, you are always looking for solutions. You actually want to get things done. You are taking your school work seriously. You are not looking for excuses. Oh, this question is too difficult. You are going to sit down and say, okay, this question may be tough. What can I do to actually surmount it? I want to learn. The purpose is for me to learn. So this question is too difficult. I'm not going to sit back, fold my hands and be complaining. This question is too difficult. That is not the right attitude. Rather, I am going to find solution. However I'm going to find solution, I am going to get solution. The right attitude is you are going to find solution. If it means for me to ask my teacher, I will ask my teacher. If it means for me to ask my classmate who is quite smart in this particular area, I will ask my classmate. If it means for me to ask my parents for YouTube or to Google it to know how to solve it or to go for past questions, whatever it takes, I am going to do it. That is the right attitude. I remember we shared something about Ben Carson when we did the book review, Gifted Hands. You see, the people that used to tease him and call him dummy. Oh, someone said cheerfully doing. Thank you so much. The people that used to tease him and call him dummy when he was the dummy of the class, when he improved himself, when he applied himself and became better, they came back to start asking questions. That is the right attitude, because they knew he knew it. So they didn't hold back to say, this brother used to be the dummy of the class, or I feel so embarrassed asking him. Rather, they were still meeting him to ask him to help them solve problems. That is the right attitude. The right attitude simply means, remember I said, you can do anything you set your mind to. So if you want to have an A in your grades, you can actually do it if you genuinely set your mind to it. And setting your mind to it simply means that you don't take no. You don't take no. You are determined. I want to get it and I want to get it. That is what setting your mind to means. You don't take no. You don't give any excuse. You have the right attitude. And I tell you, when you set your mind to, you can actually do it. Now, the right attitude means focus on your lessons when you are being taught. Focus on lessons when you are being taught. It means minimize distractions. If you have a classmate who is always distracting you, walk up to your teacher, report, and ask for a change of seat. If your teacher wouldn't help you, walk up to your headmistress or your principal and report. And if they will not help you, tell your parents about it. Your classmate is always disturbing you. Now, the right attitude is knowing the reason why you are in school. You are in school to learn, right? So everything you are doing in school should be such that you help them. So if you have a seatmate that is always distracting you, that they are always making noise, a class is going on, they are folding paper, they are throwing it, they take catapult, they are throwing paper, they are making noise, just distracting the class. You know that you and them, you don't have to be together, you don't have to be friends. What do? You are going to walk up to your teacher and politely ask that you need your seats to be changed. If your teacher wouldn't want to change you, because I know that there are some students, the teacher will say, no, you are the only one that can handle him. Let him stay near you. No, you are not in school to handle another child. You are in school to learn. Do you understand? You are in school to learn. Your parents are paying school fees for you to learn. So your teacher needs to provide value for your parents' money. They need to give value for your parents' money. So one way they can give value is to make sure that your learning space is genuinely conducive for you to learn. And if you have a seatmate that constantly distracts you, your learning space is not conducive. So what do? You walk up to your teacher and say, what if your parents ignore you when you try to get answers to a question? Okay, and I'll come to that. You walk up to your teacher and tell your teacher, hey, this mate of mine is always distracting me. They are always disturbing me. I don't want to stay with him. I don't want to sit with him again. If your teacher says, okay, don't worry, next week I'll change you, and your teacher doesn't change you after 1 week, after promising you go and meet your principal, explain to your principal what you are going through. This classmate of mine is always distracting me. He does XYZ. Can I have a change of seat, please? If your principal still doesn't change your seat position, When you get home, you tell your parents about it. Mommy, daddy, I have a seatmate that is always disturbing me. He's always distracting me. So most times I am not focused. Most times the teachers even put me on punishment because of him. You know, it's not as if I intend to talk to him. Sometimes he's just disturbing. I'm telling him, oh, stop disturbing now. And the next thing the teacher sees me talking and they punish me. I want a change of seat. But before you go and meet your parents, you would have attempted to solve it yourself. Tell your teacher about it. If your teacher doesn't answer you or says no, go and meet your principal. If your principal says no, then you go and tell your parents to get it sorted out. Remember, you are in school to learn. Distractions will not help you learn. So what you want to do is to find solution to that distraction. Now, the right attitude means making deliberate efforts to achieve your goals. For being in school, make deliberate efforts. You are in school to learn. You are going to put in the right efforts to actually learn. That is the right attitude. You are in school to learn. You are not in school to play. You can play at break. You can play. That is why school is structured. You have time for long break. You have time for short break. You have time for snacks. You have time for everything that you have time for. So the time you have to learn, please, your teacher is in class. It's your time to learn. Pay attention. That is the right attitude. You are in school to learn. Make deliberate effort to learn. You are given a do your assignment, and when you do your assignment, you don't get it right, you are giving correction. Make sure you do you have 8/10, you are glad to go. No, you have 8/10, you still have 2. What happened to the 2? You have 7/10, what happened to the 3? You have 4/10. It simply means that there's still something missing somewhere. There's a mistake that is still holding you back, and in your exam you're also going to get 7/10. So if you get 7/10 in 10 your exam, it simply means you get 70/100 again, and you don't want to get 70/100. So when you are giving an assignment, please do your assignment. Not only do your assignment, you must do your correction, because in doing your correction, you are learning. You are learning. Okay, this shows that you are diligent and willing to improve. Doing your correction shows that you are willing to improve, and that is a good attitude. Another right attitude towards your study simply means that you ask questions and answer questions. You engage in class actively. You must engage in class actively. You know, now engaging in class actively is not just a right attitude, it's also making an impression. Remember, I said 3 things that will help you excel in school, or 3 things that will help you come top in your class. 1, you have the right attitude. 2, you make the right impression. And 3, you have you improve on your performance. Okay, so 3, that's you improve your performance. So I was saying that answer questions in class, engage actively in class by asking questions, participating in discussions. Do not sit in class and keep quiet. Do not feel shy to answer. Do not feel embarrassed to answer questions or to ask questions. You are in school to learn. You know, when you feel shy or feel embarrassed to ask questions or answer questions, it simply means you don't know what you are in school to do. Because if you know what you are in school to do, you will not. Remember, I said anything you set your mind to, you can achieve. If you know what you are in school to do, you will not feel shy or embarrassed to ask questions. You will go straight and ask questions when you need to ask. So bear that in mind. You are in school to learn. If you don't know it, learn means you don't know it. You want to learn. You can't be learning what you already know. So when you have a question in class, it simply means that you want to learn, which is your purpose of being in school. Having a question in class means you want to learn. So you must ask questions in class. When you have answers to give, you are not sure it's correct or not, raise up your hand and ask and answer your question. Just make sure your question is not out of point or is not dumb. Well, answer the questions your teacher asks. They are not only the right attitude, they are also making impression, helping you make impressions. Another thing you want to improve on is your handwriting and your spellings. Make sure your handwritings and your spellings are okay. It is very important that your handwriting and your spellings are okay. We'll talk about it later on. So make sure, if you know that, okay, your handwriting is not legible, please, and you are receiving on the 16th, you need to quickly take 1 week. You can go to YouTube, tell your parents you want to use YouTube video to learn how to write. You can watch a video on YouTube and you will learn how to write and write very well. If you don't have access to YouTube, take a textbook or anything. Try to learn how to write. Improve your handwriting. Make sure your handwriting is legible, and work on your spellings. If you are struggling to spell, please work on your spellings. We are going to talk about why it matters. Now, another thing you want to do is you want to set goals and study regularly. Set goals and study regularly. You know, every time you want to set goals. You do your assignment in school today, you got 4/5, you want to set goals to get 5/5. You did your assignment in school, you set you got 5/5, fantastic. You want to set goals to even get more than 5/5. You want to set goals, okay, I got 5/5, but I spent 1 hour doing this assignment. Next time I'm going to spend 40 minutes doing this assignment. I'm going to spend 30 minutes doing this assignment. You want to set goals on your speed. You want to set goals on your accuracy. Yes, I want to get the answers right. So I want my speed to increase. I want my answers to actually be right. Set goals accurately. Set goals for speed and accuracy. Now, I've talked about the attitude, what the right attitude means, right? The next thing I want to talk about is making an impression. Making an impression. Now, when you put in all those right attitudes into use, your grades are going to increase. Now, making an impression. Why do you need to make an impression? The truth of the matter is, if your teacher has a negative impression about you, maybe they think, this boy is not serious with schoolwork, this boy is not serious, and they will have that because they will see your attitude. You don't have the right attitude towards work. In class, you are making noise. Someone says, what if you are the first person to raise your hand when your teacher asks a question, but she ignores you? You keep raising your hand. You keep raising your hand, you know. Each time she has a question, she ignores you. Sometimes you are many in class. You're up to 10, you're up to 20. Some even classes, they're even up to more than 20, up to 30, 40. So if your teacher doesn't see you, it doesn't mean you should stop raising your hand. You must always raise your hand. One day she will see you. One day he will see you. And you also want to always take a position. If you have a seat in school, if you don't have a particular seat in school, take a position where your teacher can easily see you. Take a position where your teacher can easily see you. One. Secondly, we're going to talk about that. I'm talking about making impression. When you have been able to make good impression, your teacher will notice you. Remember, you are a light, a shining light. You are not going to hide. And one way you are not hiding is making a good impression on your teacher. If you're able to make a good impression, they are always going to see you. When they see you, it is going to reflect in your grade. Let me explain how it happens. Now, remember, if you are a student who doesn't care much about the academics, who is nonchalant, who just behaves randomly, your teacher is going to see you as that. Now, remember, during the exam, your teacher wants to mark exam scripts. Most times in secondary school, if you are 20 in your class, a teacher that is taking your class is taking maybe JSS 3, is taking JSS 2, is taking JSS 1. So if you are 20 in your class, JSS 1 is 20, JSS 2 is 20. That means how many papers does he have to mark? 60. He has 60 papers to mark. These 60 papers, they have objective, they have theory. He wants to sit down, look at it step by step to the answer. Imagine let me go to literacy, English. You have to maybe write a composition or write a letter or something. They have to look at it one by one. Look at your spellings, look at your punctuation marks, look at everything you are doing, right? They have to do that. And they have 60 people to mark, plus objective, plus four other questions they have to mark. And most times the teacher that is teaching English, they are teaching literature in English, right? Just imagine all of that. The teacher has a workload. And as if that is not enough, the teacher has time frame to mark those things and submit. The teachers are not going to mark your script forever. The school can tell them, when you finish your exam this week, by next week, you're already collecting your results. What does that tell you? The teacher may have just 1 week to do all of that, right? And this same teacher has his own family to attend to. This same teacher has other things, other obligations. This same teacher is in the present-day Nigerian economy where everybody is complaining that, things are difficult and all of that. This same teacher is pressured. Then this same teacher opens their notebook, and as they are going through their notebook, they are seeing you spelling. You want to spell create. You are spelling create as in C-R-O-A-T-E. You want as create. You want to spell love, you are spelling love as L-O-V or L-U-V. You are not spelling correctly. The teacher will not have time, not because they don't want to have time, because they have a lot of things to bother about. Are you getting my explanation? Remember, they have 60 scripts to mark. 60 scripts to mark. They have 60 scripts to mark. They have literature in English. 60 plus 60, that's 120. They have 120 scripts to mark, and they're going to mark those 120 scripts within 1 week. Within 1 week. And they have a lot of things, other things bothering them, and they have deadlines to submit. And you expect the teacher to now start saying, oh, what he wants to write is, he wanted to write, I created. He now made a mistake and wrote, I create. No. Your teacher will not have that time, especially if you are a child, a student, that you have not made an impression on your teacher. It is why impression matters a great deal. From the day when you get to school, make an impression. Make effort to impress your teacher. That is rough, no challenge, you disturb in class, you don't care about school. Once your teacher, and then you have bad handwriting, and apart from having bad writing, your spellings are all over the place. They are here and scattered everywhere. Now, once your teacher picks up your book and he sees what you have written, he doesn't have time to start sitting down and thinking, okay, he may have meant to write this. They will just conclude from the way you look in school, from the way you behave, from your attitude towards your studies, they will conclude that, nah, you don't know anything. Impression matters a great deal. But flip it. Flip the coin. If you are a student in class, you answer questions, you come to class, you have the right attitude, you have made the right impression on your teacher. Your teacher knows that this child is smart, this child is intelligent, this child is bold, they are well spoken, they are articulate, they are not shy, your handwriting is legible and everything. What do you think will happen? When your teacher picks your book and he sees, instead of writing create, you are writing create, your teacher will think, oh, it's a mistake. They will know it's a mistake. Okay, sorry, that was network again. Your teacher will know that, oh, and they will pardon you. But if you are the other one that is just distracting the class, being clumsy, being untidy, noisy, making noise in class, so much noise, you are laughing. Instead of it to sit down and learn, you are laughing, you are distracting the class, you are the one they see outside. Oh, the teacher is always talking. Teacher from the last grade complained about you. This grade, you've entered this grade. Teacher complained about you. They will say, this one, he's a dummy. And that's how you go. And that's one of the things that will contribute to you not doing well at the end of the day. Now, let's go back to making a good impression. Now, the first thing you want to do is be organized. Be very organized. Keep your notes and assignments. Write dates. Improve on your handwriting. Spell well. Spell well. The first thing you want to do is, I want to encourage you. I may not be able to pause for you to take every note, but what you want to do is, at the end of this class, tell your parents that you like to go back and watch the video. Then you take the notes one by one, because it is important. It is going to help you a great deal. Every single thing I'm sharing here is going to help you. I've taught in schools before, and I know exactly what is obtainable. That's what I'm telling you. So one is to make a good impression, always be organized. Don't be a student that you are always looking for one thing in class. You are always looking for your biro. You are always looking for your pencil. You are always looking for your eraser. It shows the wrong attitude. You are not organized. You are not organized. That is why you are always looking for one thing or the other in school, distracting the teacher. You know, take your pen. If you have a class where they steal pens, take your pen, write your name. Find a way to mark your pen. Everybody in class knows that, this is her pen. Her pen is always marked. They know it. Take the straw from your pen. Tell your mommy to buy nail polish for you. Polish it. If the straw is then transparent, polish it red, white, different colors. That is your pen. Nobody steals your pen. So you are not coming to say, oh, my pen was stolen. That was why I didn't find my pen. No. Buy a pen case. Tell your parents to buy a pen case for you. Even if your parents don't buy a pen case for you, you always have pocket money. Sometimes you are not hungry. You just buy things because your friends are buying, your mates are buying. You buy things because you don't have self-discipline. One of the reasons you buy. Someone is saying, what if your teacher is your lesson teacher and you have a very good impression with other teachers except him because you are what? because you are what? Sorry, because you are what? Please finish that. I'll come to that. Okay, if you don't have a good relationship with your lesson teacher, then you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a lesson teacher. When we talk about good an impression, it doesn't mean that impression doesn't mean you want to please that person. No, impression is the way you carry yourself. Everybody will see you. It will make you stand out. You are distinct from the way you carry yourself. Let me read some of the things I'm talking about. You make good impression when you are organized. You are not one of those children that come to school. You are always looking for your pen. You are always looking for your biro. When it's time to write, that is when you are looking for one thing or the other. Disturbing class, accusing people of taking your things. No. Or you are making noise in class. Your teacher is telling everybody, keep quiet. Every single day, your name is in the list of noisemaker. You are not making a good impression. Nah. You're not making a good impression. I'm not talking about, of course, when you see your teacher, you can help your teacher carry their bag. That is a different ball game mentality. That is to show you respect for your teacher, respect and honor. You carry their bag for them, you greet them, you smile. That is respect and honor. That is even important for you to do. So your teacher shouldn't walk past you and you are turning your face away. Hello, you greet. They are older than you. They are impacting into you. You owe them that to greet. You don't even owe them. You owe yourself to be respectful to people who are impacting into your life. That's not even the kind of impression I'm talking about. I'm talking about impression you make generally that reflects on your academics. Now, I said always be organized. Don't come to class and start looking for eraser, start looking for pencil, start looking for biro. Yes, please. Start looking for biro, start looking for one thing or the other. No. You are coming to a class, you know you have tests to write. So what happens? The day before your test, or remember I said plan your term. When I talked about planning your term, it simply means that you know you have an exam to write by the end of the month, you have that exam. In your school send calendar. So take my children's calendar has been sent to me in my WhatsApp. So what we'll do, they'll take it, they'll plan their term, you know, on so and so days when you have exam. So before exam even comes close, everything you will need on that day, you have kept it already. You know you have a project. You have a project to do. So the teachers just don't wake up and say, oh yeah, this project is today. No. They notify you a week to 2 weeks to. So once they've notified you, oh, we have a project on so and so, you go to your planner, you write it down. They cannot give you a project on the day they have another major thing. It's not possible. So they give you a project the day they don't have something major. So you go to your planner, you write that project down. We have a project on this day. So you now go back and plan for all the materials you need. That way you are organized. Keep your notes and assignments up to date. Another way to make okay, they mark your notebooks, right? Imagine your teacher brings your notebook to mark. There is no date. You did not write correction. Or you did not complete your notebook, everything is just scattered. That's definitely a wrong attitude. They already have an impression that this boy is not serious. This girl is not serious. Your assignment, you don't do your assignment. You don't even write your assignment. Okay, you manage to do your assignment, you are not submitting it for marking. You don't submit your assignment for marking. Okay, you submit your assignment for marking. There are some you did not get, you failed. You don't do your correction. They open your notebook, you are not writing your dates. Your handwriting is just scattered everywhere. Your spellings are not correct. What do you think? Your teachers mark your notebook. Once they see your notebook in a chaotic way, see your notebook fighting World War II, they just have the impression that this particular child is not serious. Is not serious. They believe you are not serious. And that you are not serious goes again back to reflect in their impression. They have the impression about you that this one, I beg, is not serious. The parents are even wasting money. They should just send him to go and learn mechanic. They should just send her to go and learn mechanic. She's not serious. He's not serious. So you make an impression. You must make sure you are organized. Your notes are organized. Your assignments are organized. Your dates are written. Your handwriting is improved upon. Your spelling is improved upon. Another thing you want to do to make an impression is to make sure that you are always punctual, regular in school. Be punctual. You are not one of those that come to school late. Nah. Tell your parents, even if your parents are the ones driving you to school and they go to school late, tell them, wake up super early, wake up 5 a.m., bed, prepared. Tell them, if they cook your meal, learn to cook your meal. Learn to cook your meal. If there's something they still do for you, learn to do it yourself. Do it yourself. You know, wake up. You are in secondary school. I want to assume you're in secondary school, or you're even upper primary school, grade 5, grade 6. So you can do some things yourself. Learn to do your things yourself. Wake up 5 o'clock. Get prepared. 6:30. Your parents will say, this child has woken up. Yes, mommy, this time I want to make an impression. Get to school early. Be punctual. Be punctual, and then be regular. Be punctual and then be regular. Make sure you're in school every day. You don't look for any excuse to miss school. You're in school every day. You are also punctual. That way, your teacher will make a good impression. Another thing you need to make a good impression is be neat in your appearance. Be neat. You be neat. You are not a dirty pig. Once you look dirty, let me know ask you, when you see someone, their buckles are cut, their uniform is torn somewhere, is just rumpled, is torn somewhere, their hair is not combed, or is harmattan and their skin, their body is white, what do you think? You just look at this person is okay, this person is a dummy. You just have a way of concluding that they are not serious. That's the mind you have. And what kind of a person is it that cannot take care of himself? That is the same impression your teacher has when they see you looking all unkept. They see you looking all unkept. Your buttons are cut. Your uniforms are dirty. They are not well washed. Your socks are dirty. Your belt is hanging. Your laces are hanging. You don't look put together. They just have the impression that, nah, you are not serious with your life. You are not serious. That is the impression they will have. And to go a long way to also reflect in your grades. You know, another thing you want to do is obey rules. Obey rules and be respectful to your teachers. Obey rules. Every school has rules. You don't get an award for breaking rules. Nah. If the rules, most schools have prospectus they give to your parents upon orientation they give to your parents upon being registered into the school. So if your parents are not comfortable with it, they'll put you in another school. Okay, that was network again. Sorry about that. So I was telling you, obey rules. Schools have rules, and the rules are for your own good. The rules are for your own good. The rules made by schools, they are for your own good. They are for you. The purpose of being in school is to learn. So the schools are either to make you learn, to make you safe. They are just for your own good. So if there's any rule you are not comfortable with, you can actually tell your teacher, tell your HM. That is why you are bold. That is why you are confident. That is why you are a solution bringer, a problem solver. There's a rule you feel, okay, this rule shouldn't be. This rule is not, doesn't make sense. You should step up to your HM, step up to your principal and tell, I don't think this is it. So do not disobey. Do not break school rules. By the time you break school rules, your teacher sees you as, oh, this child is rebellious. This child is not, they have a negative impression about you. Now imagine if you are the one breaking school rules. You are the one coming to school looking so unkept and dirty. You are the one who doesn't do, whose notebooks are not organized. What do you think? That is definitely a recipe for negative impression. When your teacher sees your notebook, your book, everything is just all over the place, the next thing they just rate you down and you cannot become the best in math at the end of the day. No, one thing I also want you to know is that teachers, they have a way of talking to each other. If you're in a particular class, you were misbehaving, your teacher, there's every likelihood that the teacher in that class would have told the teacher in the next class you are going to. Now, it is not only your teacher you see and you respect. You must respect every teacher in the school. Once a teacher tells the other teacher about you, they already form a mindset. You know how someone tells you about a particular person, this girl was the girl that stole that thing that day. When you see that particular girl, whether you saw them steal or you didn't see them steal, you were there, you were not there, whether the story is true or it's not true, when you see them, you start wanting to keep your things safe, right? The same thing your teacher does. So the teacher will pass the information to the other teacher that you are not a serious student, and they will start building upon that. So it is why it is not only your teacher you should respect, you should make sure you respect all the teachers in your school. Now let's go to the main thing, how to enhance your performance. How to enhance your performance, because in all, it is your performance that will actually help you, is part of the major things that will help you. If you are just joining, is okay. What you can do, we've shared really important things. Somebody said good evening, man. Good evening, thank you so much for joining. We've shared really important things. You want to go back to the beginning of this video and watch and take notes. I beg you, if I can kneel right here, I'll kneel right here and beg you to make sure you take action. Every single thing I've shared, make sure you note them down. While you are listening to the video, listen and pause and write. Listen, pause, write. Listen, pause, write. Listen, pause, write. When you are done writing, you go back and read everything you have written, and you tell yourself, what am I going to start applying from this? What do I need? What am I going to start applying for this? And you apply everything you can apply. And I promise you that once you apply these things, you are going to excel so much in school. We have talked a lot. Now let's go. We have sorry, I'm coming. I just want to make sure okay, that was network again. I'm sorry about that. Now the thing, this is enhancing your performance, that is making you okay. So the next thing I want to know is that everybody learns differently. Everybody learns differently. Now, especially for the subjects you struggle with, some subjects will just come easy for you. So some subjects that are naturally your strengths, that you naturally love. Maybe you are somebody who loves animals, you are somebody who loves geography, you're somebody who loves numbers. Okay, so I was saying that there are some subjects that comes naturally easy for you. They are naturally your strength. You love them. You can be animal, you can be someone who loves sciences, you love geography, you love history. They just come easy for you. Those ones you may not struggle with them, but there are some subjects that they are very important. They are compulsory, like math, for example, like English, for example. You find yourself struggling with them. One of the things you want to look at is, how do you learn best? Everyone has a way they learn best. Everyone has a way. So unfortunately, your teacher may not be able to meet that way you learn, because most times teachers teach the way they learn. The way they learn is also part of them. So that's how they teach. So if you have a teacher, for example, who learns via storytelling, they are likely going to be telling you a lot of story. And if you are someone whose stories bore, you may not find the class interesting. So you want to sit down and find out, how do you learn? When you get how you learn, you are going to you're going to look for ways to help you infuse that your learning style into the topic that you are struggling with. Infuse it. It can be you are going online, going to look for go and look for a particular academy. We have CAN, we have a lot of them. CAN is the KHAN. We have a lot of other academy online that teach the way that is easy for you to learn. For example, we have Dr. Binos, for example. They may teach the way that is easy for you to learn. We also have Rock and Learn, Easy Rock and Learn, something like that. We have a few things, a few resources online you can access. Look for the ones that teaches the way you learn and begin to use them to support yourself when you have a tough topic. You have a topic that is tough for you, you cannot understand, then look for a resource to help you learn that way. That's one thing. Another thing you want to do is, whenever you are being taught, you need to focus on key points in each topic. Every single topic has a key point. Every single topic has a key point. So when you are reading, focus on the key point. Now, this is why it's very important for you to know how to answer comprehension questions. By the time you focus on the key points, you just take key points. Sometimes you don't need to, except it's something like history, that you are cramming dates and time and names. So many subjects, you don't need to cram dates, time, and names. You just focus on key points. For example, you are asked, what is market? What is a market, or what is market? What are the important things you need, key points in the market? The key points in the market are buying, selling, a place, people, a place where people buy and sell, right? That is market. So once you know that, okay, the key points in the market is buying and selling, people, a place, that is it. It becomes easy for you. So focus on the key points. Whenever you are reading, take a notebook, write out the key points in that topic you are learning. Make sure you write the key points. Always try to memorize the key points. Always try to understand the key points, not just memorize. Okay, sorry, network again. So I was saying that always focus on the key points. Every single subject you are learning, every single topic you are learning has key points. Now, instead of you to try to Network has really been crazy this evening. The previous times I've had classes, it's not been like this. When we have the self-led mentorship class, it wasn't like this, and I was actually banking that. Okay, so let's go. I pray it becomes more stable. So I was saying that now whenever you have a passage, so note the key points. You don't have to memorize the entire passage. Okay, so that was network again. Apologies about that. So I was saying that focus on key points. Whenever you are being taught, please focus on key points. You don't have to attempt to memorize an entire passage or an entire textbook or an entire topic. What you can do is actually focus on the key points. What are the key points? Focus on those key points, and once you have improved on writing comprehension, answering comprehension questions, and how to answer comprehension passages, it's going to be easy for you to be able to answer your questions. Remember, you take the key points and actually understand them. So the first thing you need to do is focus on the key points. Concentrate on the main ideas and important details. This helps you understand and remember the material better. The next thing you want to do is learn how to answer comprehension questions. I've talked about that. That is, learn how to practice summarizing tests and answering questions. This skill is crucial for exam, especially exam and assignments. You learn how to answer comprehension questions. It is going to help you a great deal, because once you have summarized, once you have said the key points and you can answer comprehension questions, it's easy. You are going to take the key points and use your comprehension skills to answer them. At the end of the day, when your teacher is marking your book, what they are looking for is the key points. That they may not be looking at every single thing you have written. They are looking for the key points. There are always key points in every topic. So they want to know. So when you are able to identify the key points, they know that you actually understand. When you write the key points, they know you understand. Sometimes you can just write a whole book, an entire book, and you still will not pass. You still will not get your grades. Why? Because you did not, your key points are missing. So for every single topic, you understand that there are key points. Always note the key points. Focus on the key points for every single topic. Take the key point. In fact, before you think about running with the entire material, take the key points. As the teacher is teaching, listen to the one he's emphasizing. That is why it's good for you to go with notebook to your class to jot. You're in secondary school now. Except your teacher says no, don't write, don't jot. But if they allow you to jot, it's important. You just jot the notes, because sometimes it's from their explanation that you understand better. So note the key points. And another thing you want to do is use past questions for practice. Use past questions for practice. In fact, you are going to a new session now. This is first term. What you want to do is go and look for, if you're going to JSS1, JSS2, JSS3, JSS1, JSS2, JSS3, go and look for someone that was in your class before. If you are going to JSS2, go and look for people in JSS2 going to JSS3. Now, let me tell you something about past questions. Don't just look for the ones in your school. Nah. Don't look for people that in your school. Look for people that are not in your school. It's the same state, the same curriculum. So if you are in JSS2, everybody you know that are in JSS2, whether they're in your school or they're not in your school, or ask them, can I get your first term question paper? Can I get your first term question paper? Of course, if they have second, third term, you can still get second and third term. Keep them, but take your first. Make sure you take the first term. That is, you're in first term now. Take the first term question paper. Can I get your first term question paper, please? Take the first term question paper. Answer them. By the time you get like 3-4 questions from different schools, you have answered every single question that they are likely going to ask you in exam. Do you agree with me? Imagine you are in JSS, you are in JSS 1, you are going to JSS 2. You go and meet someone in XYZ school. You collect their past questions. You go someone in ABC, HGF, IJK. By the time you put all those questions paper, all the question papers they have, put them every weekend. Take your time, answer one question paper, answer it. You know, anyone you don't know, go and go to your textbook, read it and answer it. By the time you finish, you answer 3 to 4 question papers. You have answered almost every questions that are likely going to come out in your test and your exam. If you agree with me, put it there, I agree with you. That will help you. That way you have so much empowered yourself that when it's test, when it's exam, you are not struggling with it. So go and get past question papers from your school or from other schools and begin to practice. Set aside time every week to practice, revise it. This week I want to revise maths, the maths I got from XYZ school. Next week I want to revise the maths I got from ABC school. Keep revising. If you have, I agree. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, thank you. So if you have your private tutor that comes to teach you, you can also have them. Who network replay, who are watching the replay, they are not having to struggle so much. They are not having to wait for a long time for the network to actually get clear for them. Apologies about so they are not having to struggle so much. They are not having to give them time. Okay, sorry. So let's go back. I was saying that, what was I saying? Oh, this network issue has really destabilized me. And okay, we must continue because we plan to do it today and we must continue. So I said, use past questions. I said, go to your friends, go to who were in your class, who were in the class before your class, who were in your class the year before, the 2 years before, and who are even in other schools. Get their past questions and try to solve it. Now the truth of the matter is, the more questions you try to answer, the more problems you try to answer, the more you are used to it, the more you know it, the more you are learning. You know how we say repetition is the mother of learning? Yes. Imagine for a particular subject, a particular topic, you have 5 past questions. What do you think? No matter the questions are twisted, you have learned it 5 times already. You will know it. So it's important you go used to past questions, not just from your school, years way before, and from your school too. Okay, that's that. Another thing you want to do is follow up on objectives. Now there's something that every single textbook of yours, there's always objective of this topic, right? Every topic has an objective, has objectives. So what you want to do is, you should know that at the end of the class, you should be able to define what you were asked to define. You were able to know the types of what you were asked to know. That is the objective. Objective is the purpose of teaching you that topic. So you should be able to understand the purpose of teaching you that topic. If you don't understand the purpose of teaching you that topic, you have not learned. So for every textbook of yours, after every topic, you have objectives, right? Make sure you actually know the objectives at the end of every question. Now, every textbook has revision. Every single textbook has revisions, and they have questions at the back. Don't play with them. Sometimes teachers are too lazy to go and set fresh questions. They just copy questions from them. So what do you want to do? You want to make sure that after every topic, you are able to answer the questions at the back of the topic. The questions at the back of the topic. You must make sure you are able to answer those questions. Answer them in such a way that you are getting almost 100 over 100 in your answers. Another thing you should do, use your revision questions. Every topic has revision questions at the end of the day. Make sure you use your revision questions to answer questions. Now, another thing you should do is research. Any single topic we are taught, please research. Look up on extra information to deepen your understanding on topics. This shows initiative and enhances your knowledge. You are taught something in school, you get back home, you always take your parents' phone, you want to play game, you want to go, what are you doing on social media? What will game add to you? Do you want to be a game developer? So if that's not what you want, then when you take the phone, what you are going to do is, there's a particular subject I'm struggling with in school, or there's a particular subject or topic that fascinates me. I want to know more. You are teaching, maybe you were taught photosynthesis in school. It looks so abstract. It doesn't look practical to you. What are you going to do? What do you want to do? You actually want to go back to school? You want to go take your parents' phone or anything? You want to use it to learn more about that subject. The more you learn, the more you actually know it. That is one thing. Another thing you want to do is you want to prove your knowledge when answering questions. Yes, you want to prove your knowledge when answering questions. Your teacher asks you a question, you just don't want to answer lazily. You must prove your knowledge. You must add extra to it. You must answer in a way that is presentable. They ask you what is marketing, for example. You are going to write it is. No, marketing is. And when you answer to show that you are not a lazy student. Put in the extra effort to answer your questions very well. Answer your question accurately. Put in the extra effort to make sure that your questions are well answered. That way you are making an impression. Your teacher will see your work and say that this student put in the extra effort to answer the question. When you answer question, you have examples, cite examples. Cite examples. You are asked, for example, what is a market? A market is a place where people come, bring their goods, buy and sell things, they exchange money, you go on. For example, we have Balogun market, the famous Balogun market. We have My 12 market. We have New Benin market. We have. Put in the extra effort. Let your teacher know that you actually know what you are doing. You did not memorize, you did not guess, but you know exactly what you are doing. Always put in the extra effort when you are answering your questions. Now, one thing you will do, this should be the last thing I want to talk about. One thing you should do is you should study repeatedly. It is how you are going to learn. Study repeatedly. Repetition is the mother of learning. Study repeatedly. Keep studying. And guess what? The school system is structured in a way that you can study repeatedly. Let me share some of the things the school structure does that will teach you, that will help you study repeatedly. 1, in class, your teacher is teaching you, right? When your teacher has taught you, that is 1. 2, when you ask questions in class, when you don't ask questions, the teacher will not repeat what they have taught you. So the teacher has taught you, you ask a question, they have repeated it. Your classmates asked a question, you listened, they have repeated it. They give you classwork. You do the classwork. You know it, fine. Even when you know it, some people don't know it. They are teaching the people that don't know it. You listen again. You are learning again from the people that did not know it. That's how many times now? 4. They are doing the correction. That's 4. Correction. That's 4 times. Then you are giving assignments. That's 5th time. Some people don't know the assignment, so your teacher is repeating, giving them the correction. That's the 6th time. Then you get home every weekend, every day after your homework, you bring out your notebook, you do your revision. You do your revision. You note down your key points and you revise them. That's the 7th time. Weekend, you bring out the major notes, telling the ones you struggled with in school. You try to read them again and understand. That's the 8th time. You take your parents' phone. You do a research to know further. That's the 9th time. Test is coming. You do the test again. That's the 10th time. Exam is coming. You revise for exam. That's the 11th time. If you commit to revising your book 11th time, how will you not know it? What will make you not know it? You revise 11 times. What will make you not know it? Nothing. You will know it. You must know it. So learn repeatedly. And you don't have to just leave things you are doing to learn. No, it will not come in the way of your fun. You can even as much as take advantage of the school's structured way of repeated learning that I just mentioned to you. The school's structured way of repeated learning. You can take advantage of that and realize that by the time you learn 11th time, no matter how much you struggle to learn, you will learn. You learn 11 times, you will learn. So learn repeatedly. It is the right attitude. Oh, it's time for correction. You are in class. Even though you know it already, imagine you are also still doing I told you to do past questions. You are doing past questions. I told you to do revision in your textbooks. You are doing revision in your textbooks. You are telling you to look at the objectives. You are doing the objectives. That's 15 times. Now tell me, how will you learn a particular topic 15 times and you will not know it? By the time you learn it 15 times, there is no way you will not know it. So learn repeatedly. You don't even have to sit down and let learning come in the way of your phone. No, what you only need to do is to take advantage of school's structured way of repeated learning. That is even enough for you. And if you not commit yourself again to extra. Okay, so I was saying that there is no way you will learn repeatedly that you will not learn it. You learn something 15 times now. Learn repeatedly. The more you learn repeatedly, the school has a structured way of you learning repeatedly. Learn repeatedly, especially the topics you are struggling with, the subject you are struggling with. Even people who have a special way of learning, who are special and who have learning difficulties, by the time they commit to the school structured way of learning 15 times, they would have learned. I hope you'll be learning. If you'll be learning, please, someone is saying, when is the class going to end? Okay, it's okay. You are good to go, please. You can just exit anytime. You are getting bored, you're no longer getting value, you can go. I actually wanted this class to be shorter than this because I have another class. I had another class by 8, but network kept throwing me back and forth. That's why we are still here now. But if you're tired, you can already go. So now let's look at some things you need to do again when you are answering exam questions. It is very important because having learned everything, you also need to know how to answer exam questions correctly. One thing you need, first thing is don't memorize. Do not memorize now, because when you memorize, when you get to the hall, you may be tensed and you will forget. So make sure you understand, and this is why I told you to understand the key points. For every topic you are taught, learn about the key points, understand the key points, and learn how to understand and answer comprehension. They know that you cannot produce the textbook verbatim. They know that you cannot produce everything they have taught you in class, but there are key elements they are looking at for. So that is why I told you, always make sure you note those key elements. Note them, understand what they mean, and work on your comprehension, so that when you are asked a question, you are able to produce those key elements, see how they link, see which one comes first, which one comes next, which one comes last, and put them together and answer your question. That is it. Next thing you should do is don't rush. One of the things you do is, I notice this with many children, by the time you write exam, you come back and you bring the script, you are asked a question. You can answer almost all the questions, but in your exam, you are getting 40 over 100. Now, when you get home and your parents say, oh yeah, let's look at your questions. You look at your questions, you can answer 90%, 90 over 100. Your objectives are usually like maybe, let's say 50. You can answer 40, you can answer 45. But what happens? Why do you now in the whole you're only answering 15 and 20 correctly? The thing is, most times you rush. Do not rush. Always make sure you take your time to read your question from the beginning to the end. Sometimes you just read your question, you are taking the first option. The first option may not be the answer. Most times it will not be the answer. For example, you have a question like, these are the product, these are farm products, except, because you have seen these are farm products, you do not read except, you just go straight to the option, and the option A is yam. The next thing, you are thinking yam. The next, you just mark yam as the option, as the answer. Meanwhile, your question is except, and your options may be yam, cassava, car, beans. You see that because you rushed, you will not get it right. You will not pass that question. And by the time you get home, your parents or your guardian is revising with you. You say, hey, how did I make this mistake? You made the mistake because you rushed. So do not rush. Do not ever rush. Sit back, answer your questions calmly. You are not tensed. Don't put yourself under any form of pressure. Answer your questions correctly. Read your questions from the beginning to the end. Understand exactly what the question is. If you do not understand what the question says, it's okay, leave it. Go to the next question and answer. Go to the next question and answer. If you don't understand what question 1 is about, go to question 2 and answer. Question 3 and answer. Sometimes by the time you are done, you come back, you remember. Another thing is, you may even get the explanation in other questions. So do not rush. Another thing you need to do is use legible handwriting. When you are writing your essay, make sure your handwriting is legible. Your teacher can read it easily. Remember I explained, if you are just joining, please go and watch this video from the beginning to now. Remember I explained, your teacher, if you have not made the right impression or something, your teacher may not have the patience to be looking at your book one by one, looking at every word, assuming, oh, she wanted to spell create, she wanted to spell market, she wanted to spell photosynthesis. You work on your spellings. So thank you so much for joining me. Remember the key point I've shared with you: make the right impression, it's important. Cultivate the right attitude, is important. Deliberately. Remember I said you can achieve any single thing, anything at all you set your mind to, you can achieve it. Anything you set your mind to, you can achieve it. If you set your mind to achieving A's in your class, you can achieve it. It is possible. All you need to do is just the right attitude to achieve it, and you will achieve it. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. What you want to do for me next is to copy the link and share on share to you. If you have a group of friends also you want to share, let them watch so that you all will pass together and celebrate together. Remember, when you take action, you are going to get results. So I expect you to come back, watch this video, write down every single thing you learned, and go ahead and practice it. Remember, you start. Remember that your school starts, your success in this session begins the very day you start school, you resume school. It begins the very day you resume school. Your success begins the very day you resume school. So don't wait for tests, don't wait for exam to start reading. No, start day one. Start, make the right impression, cultivate the right attitude, and of course deliberately work on your performance. Now again, before we go, I want to let you know that we have a leadership book club coming soon, where we read one book a month and we'll come back to review it and we'll take action. So I want you to tell your parents to stay glued to this channel, so that when we announce how you can join the membership, how you can join the leadership book reading club, you will they will know and they will register you. Thank you for doing this with me. Bye. Good night.